Have you ever felt like you're racing against time? Like life has become a never-ending checklist of things to do, achieve, or fix? But here's the thing, the more we rush, the more life seems to slip through our fingers. What if the secret to loving your life again isn't in doing more, achieving more, or chasing after the next big thing? What if it's in slowing down, truly savoring each moment for the treasure it is? Imagine this. What if your life could transform by simply changing how you experience each day? In this video, we'll explore a profound Buddhist mindset that has the power to reignite your love for life. We'll dive into timeless philosophies, like the Japanese concept of Ichigo Ichie, one time, one meeting, and how it can completely shift how you see the world. We'll uncover how embracing life's impermanence, practicing mindfulness, and letting go of control can help you rediscover joy in the simplest things: a morning cup of coffee, a conversation with a loved one, or even the sound of the wind. And here's the best part: by the end of this video, you'll walk away with a powerful bonus lesson that could change the way you approach your entire existence. So, if you've ever felt lost, overwhelmed, or disconnected from the beauty of life, stay with us. Because today, we're not just talking about surviving, we're talking about falling in love with living, one precious moment at a time. Let's begin this journey together. It's time to rediscover the beauty of now and unlock the joy you've been searching for all along. Part 1. Life as a fleeting masterpiece. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you truly noticed life? Not just the big, life-changing events, but the small, quiet moments that slip by, like the warmth of the sun on your face, or the sound of laughter nearby. For so many of us, life has become a race, a relentless push to accomplish more, achieve more, and fix what's wrong. We rush from one task to the next, barely stopping to breathe. But here's the hard truth: in our hurry to get somewhere, we're missing what's already here. The philosophy of Ichigo Ichie, one time, one meeting. Japanese culture has a beautiful concept called Ichigo Ichie, which means one time, one meeting. It's a reminder that every moment we experience is unique and unrepeatable. Once it's gone forever. Think of it like this: imagine standing outside during the first snowfall of winter. Each snowflake drifts gently down, intricate and unique, before melting away the moment it touches the ground. That's life. Each moment is a snowflake, fragile, fleeting, and irreplaceable. But here's the problem: instead of noticing these moments, we let them slip through our fingers. Why? Because we're consumed by distractions, our phones, our endless to-do lists, or the pressure to be a more. We're so busy looking ahead that we forget to be here, now. Transforming the mundane into the meaningful. Take something as simple as your morning coffee. For most of us, it's just fuel to get through the day. But what if you paused? What if you really felt the warmth of the cup in your hands, inhaled the rich aroma, and savored each sip as though it were your last? Suddenly, that ordinary moment becomes extraordinary. It's no longer just coffee, it's an experience, a memory, a small piece of joy tucked into your day. Practical steps to embrace Ichigo Ichie. So, how do we begin to embrace this mindset? Here are 3 simple steps to start living each moment fully. Pause and savor throughout your day. Take deliberate pauses. Notice the details around you, feel the sunlight on your skin. Listen to the laughter of someone you love. Or simply breathe deeply. Practice gratitude at the end of each day. Reflect on moments that brought you joy. No matter how small. Was it a smile from a stranger? The sound of birds in the morning? Write these moments down. Or hold them in your heart. Let go of perfection. Life doesn't need to be flawless to be meaningful. Even in challenges or mundane tasks, there is beauty to be found, if only we open our hearts to it. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a man who spent his entire life chasing success. He worked late nights, skipped family dinners, and always told himself he'd have time to enjoy life later, after he'd achieved his goals. But one day, he realized that later had come and gone. His children were grown. His parents had passed. And all the moments he thought he'd have time for were now just memories. If he could go back, he wouldn't wish for more money or achievements. He'd wish for more moments, simple ones, like holding his child's hand or laughing with friends. Moments he had let slip away. Life isn't measured by how much we accomplish. It's measured by how deeply we live, how fully we experience the small, unrepeatable moments that make up our days. So, the next time you feel the urge to rush, ask yourself this: am I living this moment as if it's my only one? Because it is. Cherish it. Savor it. And remember, life is not a race, but a fleeting masterpiece meant to be loved, one moment at a time. Part 2. The beauty of impermanence. Picture a cherry blossom tree in full bloom. For a brief moment, it's breathtaking, its delicate petals dancing in the breeze. But soon, the blossoms fall, carried away by the wind. This fleeting beauty holds a profound truth: everything in life is impermanent. And instead of fearing it, what if we embraced it? Impermanence as a gift. Impermanence is not a curse, it's a gift. In Buddhist philosophy, the idea of impermanence isn't something to fear or resist. It's the very essence of life. Think about this: if cherry blossoms bloomed all year round, would we still marvel at their beauty? It's their fleeting nature that makes them precious. The same is true for life. A shared laugh with a friend, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, or the quiet stillness of a sunrise, these moments are meaningful because they're temporary. How we miss the beauty of impermanence. But how often do we let these moments pass us by? We cling to what we have, fearing its loss, or we overlook the beauty in front of us, assuming it will always be there. We hold on tightly, whether it's to possessions, relationships, or even identities, thinking they define us. But this attachment only leads to suffering. Shifting perspective, embracing life's fragility. What if, instead of resisting impermanence, we allowed it to deepen our appreciation for life? What if we saw its fragility as a reminder to treasure what we have, while we have it? Practical steps to embrace impermanence. Practice daily gratitude. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on what you value. Maybe it's the smile of a stranger, the sound of rain, or the comfort of your bed. These small moments, precisely because they're fleeting, are treasures. Let go of perfection. Life's beauty lies in its imperfections. The chipped mug that holds your coffee, the laughter that comes after tears. Even the challenges you face, they all have meaning if you're open to seeing it. Use impermanence as motivation. If you knew this moment would never come again, how would you live it? Would you speak kinder words? Listen more intently? Or take that leap you've been afraid of? Let impermanence inspire action, not fear. A story to reflect on. There's a story about an old man who spent his life working tirelessly, believing there would always be more time. But as the years passed, he began to notice the small things, like the way sunlight filtered through the trees, or how his grandchildren's laughter lit up the room. One day, he said, "If I'd known how short life was, I would have stopped to watch more sunsets." It wasn't regret, it was a realization. He learned that life's beauty isn't in its length, but in how deeply we live its moments. Conclusion of this section. Like cherry blossoms, our time here is short. But that's not something to grieve, it's something to celebrate. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we stop chasing perfection. We stop clinging to the past or fearing the future. Instead, we begin to truly live, appreciating the fragile, fleeting moments that make life so beautiful. So ask yourself, if this moment could never be repeated, how would you approach it? Let that question guide you. And remember, life's impermanence is not its flaw. It's its gift. Part 3. The freedom of single tasking. Imagine trying to tune a guitar by adjusting all the strings at once. The result? Chaos. No melody. No harmony, just noise. Life works the same way. When we try to juggle everything at once, our days become fragmented, noisy, and unfulfilling. In today's world, multitasking has become a badge of honor. We answer emails while eating lunch, scroll through social media while watching a movie, or half listen to loved ones while planning tomorrow's tasks. But here's the truth, multitasking isn't making us more efficient, it's draining us. The wisdom of doing one thing at a time. Buddhist wisdom offers a simple, transformative solution: single tasking. It's the practice of doing one thing at a time, with your full attention. Think about the last meal you ate. Were you truly present, savoring each bite? Or were you scrolling through your phone, your mind elsewhere? Now imagine eating mindfully, truly noticing the colors, textures, and flavors of your food. Each bite becomes an experience, not just a task. This is the power of single tasking. It turns the mundane into the meaningful. How single tasking creates freedom. When we focus on one thing fully, we free ourselves from the constant mental clutter of multitasking. We create harmony in our minds and lives. Research has shown that multitasking reduces our efficiency and increases stress. Yet we cling to it, thinking it's the only way to keep up. But what if we approached life differently? What if we chose to give each task, each moment, our undivided attention? By single tasking, we reclaim the present moment. We find joy in the process, not just the outcome. Practical steps to embrace single tasking. Start small. Choose one activity each day to do mindfully. It could be as simple as walking. Instead of rushing to your destination, feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice the rhythm of your breath, and listen to the sounds around you. Suddenly, walking becomes a meditation, not just a means to an end. Set boundaries. Create moments in your day where distractions are minimized. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. and focus fully on the task at hand. Whether you're working on a project or spending time with someone you care about, give it your full attention. Cultivate patience. Single tasking requires us to slow down and let go of the urge to do everything at once. It's a reminder that life is not a race, but a series of moments to be lived fully. Like tuning a guitar. The beauty lies in the process, not just the result. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a young woman who loved to bake. She started her own bakery. But as the business grew, she found herself constantly multitasking, answering calls, managing orders, and rushing through her baking. One day, a customer complimented her on the taste of a loaf of bread, saying it reminded them of home. The woman realized she hadn't even noticed how the bread had turned out. She'd been too distracted. That moment changed her. She decided to slow down, focus fully on her baking, and pour her heart into every loaf. Years later, her bakery became famous, not just for its delicious bread, but for the love and care she put into her work. That's the power of single tasking. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes how you live. Conclusion of this section. Life is like music. It needs rhythm, harmony, and flow. When we try to play all the notes at once, we lose the melody. But when we focus on one note, one task, one moment at a time, life begins to sing. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by everything you have to do, pause. Choose one thing to focus on, and give it your all. You'll discover that single tasking isn't just a practice, it's a path to freedom, peace, and a deeper love for life. Part 4. Releasing regret and anxiety. Imagine walking through life carrying two heavy suitcases. One is filled with the weight of regret from the past, and the other packed with the endless worries of what might go wrong in the future. With each step, your shoulders ache, your pace slows, and the journey becomes exhausting. But here's the truth, those suitcases aren't necessary. You don't have to carry them. And the moment you set them down, you discover something incredible, freedom. How regret and anxiety hold us back. Regret ties us to the past. It's the what ifs and I should have done this differently that loop endlessly in our minds. Anxiety, on the other hand, drags us into the future, making us live in constant fear of what could go wrong. When we're caught in regret or anxiety, we miss the only moment that truly matters, the present. And without the present, there's no peace, no joy, and no chance to fully live. The Buddhist perspective on time. In Buddhist philosophy, time is seen as fluid. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. And the only reality is now. As the Buddha said, do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. The present is all we have. And it's more than enough, if we learn to embrace it. How to let go of regret. Extract the lesson. Every regret holds a lesson. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to make better choices moving forward? When you shift your focus to growth, regret loses its grip on you. Practice forgiveness. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Remember, you did the best you could with the knowledge and tools you had at the time. Be kind to yourself, you're human. And imperfection is part of the journey. Anchor yourself in gratitude. For every moment you spend regretting the past, take a moment to be grateful for the present. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to regret, reminding you of the beauty and abundance of what you have right now. How to release anxiety. Focus on what you can control. Anxiety often stems from trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead of worrying about what might happen, focus on what's within your power, your actions, your mindset, and your response to challenges. Practice mindful breathing. When anxiety arises, pause and take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs, the steady rhythm of your heartbeat, and the ground beneath your feet. These are reminders that, in this moment, you are safe. Reframe your thoughts. Instead of imagining the worst-case scenario, ask yourself, what's the best thing that could happen? This simple shift in perspective can transform fear into hope. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a man who spent years regretting a decision that cost him a job he loved. He replayed the moment over and over in his mind, wishing he could go back and do things differently. One day, he met an old friend who shared a piece of wisdom. The past is like a book you've already read. You can't change the words, but you can choose how you let the story shape you. Inspired, the man decided to stop dwelling on what he'd lost and focus on what he could create in the present. He started a new career path, one that brought him joy and fulfillment, something he never would have discovered if he hadn't let go of his regret. Practical exercise, lightening your load. Here's a simple practice to help you release regret and anxiety. Write down everything that's weighing on your mind, your regrets, your fears, your worries. Read each one aloud, acknowledging it without judgment. Close your eyes and visualize placing each concern on a leaf and letting it float down a river. This exercise helps you accept what you cannot change and release what no longer serves you, creating space for peace and clarity. Conclusion of this section. Carrying the burdens of the past or future only weighs you down. But when you let go of regret and anxiety, you make room for the beauty of now. Remember, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is uncertain. But today is yours to live fully. Set down those suitcases and walk forward lighter, freer, and ready to embrace the gift of the present moment. Part 5. Loving more deeply through awareness. Imagine building a sandcastle on the shore. You carefully shape its towers, smooth its walls, and decorate it with shells. For a moment, it stands as a masterpiece, but you know the tide will eventually wash it away. Relationships are like sandcastles, beautiful, meaningful, but impermanent. This isn't something to fear, but a truth that calls us to love more deeply while we can. The power of presence in relationships. Think about the last conversation you had with someone you care about. Were you truly there, listening with your heart, or were you distracted, thinking about what to say next or glancing at your phone? When we're not fully present, we rob our relationships of their depth. But when we give our undivided attention, even the simplest interactions can become profound. Presence transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary connections. How to love more deeply. Listen fully. True listening means setting aside distractions and being fully present with the person in front of you. When someone speaks, don't just hear their words, listen to their tone, their emotions, and the unspoken truths beneath the surface. Express gratitude. Take a moment to appreciate the people in your life. Tell them what they mean to you. Even if it's as simple as, "I'm grateful for your support." Gratitude strengthens the bond you share and reminds them of their value in your life. Create sacred moments. Turn ordinary experiences into sacred ones. Whether it's a quiet dinner, a walk in the park, or a phone call, treat these interactions as if they're precious, and they will be. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a woman who lost her father unexpectedly. In the weeks that followed, she kept replaying their last conversation in her mind. She remembered how distracted she'd been, scrolling through her phone while he shared a story from his childhood. She wished she'd put her phone down. She wished she'd looked him in the eye and truly listened. That regret became a turning point for her. She decided to approach every interaction with the people she loved as if it could be the last time. Years later, she said, "I don't regret losing time with my dad anymore. I regret the moments I didn't fully live. But now, I choose to live and love deeply, every single day." Why awareness makes love deeper. Awareness opens our hearts to the fragility and beauty of relationships. When we recognize that nothing lasts forever, we stop taking people for granted. Every moment with someone we care about becomes an opportunity to connect, to share, and to love. And the more present we are, the more these moments leave lasting imprints on our hearts. Practical steps for deepening connection. Schedule undistracted time. Set aside time for the people who matter most. Free from distractions. Turn off your phone. Step away from your to-do list. And give them your full presence. Even a few minutes of focused connection can create lasting memories. Practice empathy. When someone shares their thoughts or feelings, try to see the world through their eyes. Empathy deepens understanding and helps you respond with compassion. Celebrate the small things. Don't wait for big milestones to show your appreciation. Celebrate the small moments, a shared laugh, a kind word, or a quiet evening together. These are the building blocks of love. A final reflection. Imagine your relationships as sandcastles on the shore. They won't last forever. But that's what makes them beautiful. Knowing this, how will you choose to love today? Will you rush through your conversations, distracted by the noise of life? Or will you pause, breathe, and give the people you care about the gift of your full presence? Remember, love isn't about the grand gestures. It's about the quiet moments of connection. The laughter, the tears, and the simple act of being there, fully and completely. Conclusion of this section. Life is fragile, and relationships are fleeting. But that's their beauty. Like sandcastles, they remind us to cherish the time we have, to love deeply, and to be present with the people who matter most. So, the next time you're with someone you care about, pause, look them in the eye, listen, and remember, this moment will never come again, so love it with all your heart. Part 6. The refining power of discomfort. Imagine a blacksmith forging a blade. The metal is heated, hammered, and shaped through fire and force. At times, the process seems brutal, even destructive, but in the end, the blade emerges stronger, sharper, and more refined. Life is much the same. Discomfort, though painful, is one of the most powerful tools for growth and transformation. Yet in today's world, we're conditioned to avoid it at all costs. We seek comfort, escape challenges, and numb our pain. But what if the fire you're avoiding is the very thing meant to shape you? Discomfort as a teacher. In Buddhist philosophy, discomfort isn't something to run from, it's something to embrace. Pain, challenges, and setbacks are seen as messengers carrying lessons that can deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Think about a time in your life when you faced a significant challenge. Maybe it was heartbreak, a career setback, or a moment of failure. At the time, it likely felt overwhelming, even unbearable. But looking back, can you see how it shaped you? How it taught you resilience, compassion, or wisdom? Discomfort refines us. Just like fire refines metal, it strips away what no longer serves us, leaving behind a stronger, clearer version of who we are. The danger of avoiding discomfort. In modern life, we're taught to avoid discomfort at all costs. We distract ourselves with screens, avoid difficult conversations, and numb our emotions with endless entertainment or overwork. But by avoiding discomfort, we also avoid growth. We stay in our comfort zones, trapped in mediocrity, never realizing the depth of our strength or the fullness of our potential. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the path forward. How to find growth in discomfort. Shift your perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, view them as opportunities. When discomfort arises, ask yourself, what lesson does this hold for me? What can I learn from this moment? This shift in perspective transforms pain into curiosity, making it easier to face difficulties with courage and openness. Sit with discomfort. When you feel anxious, upset, or frustrated, resist the urge to escape or suppress those feelings. Instead, take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and simply sit with the discomfort. Notice it without judgment. Where does it show up in your body? What thoughts accompany it? By observing discomfort, you rob it of its power over you. Take small steps into the fire. Growth doesn't require grand gestures. Start small. Face a fear. Have that uncomfortable conversation. Or take on a challenge you've been avoiding. Each small step builds your resilience and strengthens your ability to face discomfort head-on. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a woman who was terrified of public speaking. Every time she was asked to speak in front of a group, she would panic, find an excuse, and avoid the situation altogether. One day, she decided she was tired of letting fear control her life. She signed up for a small community event where she would give a 2-minute speech. On the day of the event, her hands shook, her heart raced, and she felt like running away. But she didn't. She spoke. It wasn't perfect. She stumbled over her words and her voice trembled, but she finished. And in that moment, she realized the fear wasn't as powerful as she'd thought. Over time, she continued to push herself, taking on slightly bigger challenges each time. Years later, she became a public speaker, inspiring others to face their fears. Her greatest growth came not in spite of discomfort, but because of it. Why discomfort is necessary for transformation. Just as fire refines metal, discomfort refines us. It strips away our illusions, pushes us beyond our limits, and forces us to grow in ways we never imagined. Think of a caterpillar in a cocoon. The process of transformation into a butterfly is uncomfortable. It requires struggle, effort, and patience. But without that discomfort, the butterfly would never emerge. The same is true for us. Growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from stepping into the fire and allowing it to shape us. Practical exercise: embracing discomfort. Here's a simple exercise to help you face discomfort with courage. Identify your comfort zone. Write down one area of your life where you've been avoiding discomfort. It could be a fear, a difficult decision, or a conversation you've been putting off. Take a small step. Choose one small action to push yourself out of your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be dramatic, just enough to challenge you. Reflect on the experience. Afterward, take a moment to reflect. What did you learn? How did it feel? Over time, these small steps will build your confidence and resilience. Conclusion of this section. Discomfort isn't easy, but it's essential. It's the fire that refines us, the challenge that transforms us, and the teacher that helps us grow. So the next time you face discomfort, don't run from it. Lean into it. Ask yourself what it's trying to teach you, and trust that on the other side of that fire lies a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. Part 7. The power of letting go. Imagine a tree weighed down by dead branches. These branches no longer serve the tree, they block sunlight, steal energy, and keep it from thriving. But once the tree is pruned, it breathes again. It grows taller, stronger, and healthier. Our lives are like that tree. We hold on to things, old regrets, unhealthy relationships, outdated beliefs, thinking they define us or keep us safe. But instead of helping us grow, these attachments weigh us down. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about creating space for new growth, new opportunities, and new joys. Why we cling to what no longer serves us. Letting go can feel terrifying. We fear losing what we know, even if it's no longer good for us. We hold on to pain because it feels familiar. We cling to control because it makes us feel secure. But here's the truth: holding on to what no longer serves us creates suffering. It ties us to the past, drains our energy, and keeps us from moving forward. Buddhist philosophy teaches that attachment is one of the main causes of human suffering. The more we cling, the harder it becomes to experience peace. Letting go, on the other hand, is an act of liberation. It's not about abandoning everything, it's about releasing the things that keep us from living fully. What letting go really means. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you forget or give up. Instead, it means accepting what is, releasing what you can't control, and trusting that life will unfold as it's meant to. It's like standing in the middle of a river. If you try to stop the water or push it in another direction, you'll exhaust yourself. But if you let go and move with the current, you'll find ease, flow, and freedom. How to begin letting go. Acknowledge what's holding you back. Take a moment to reflect. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? Is it a regret, a fear, or an unhealthy attachment? Write it down. Naming it is the first step toward releasing it. Practice acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to like what happened. It simply means acknowledging reality as it is, without resistance. When you stop fighting the past or trying to control the future, you free yourself to live in the present. Visualize letting go. Try this exercise. Close your eyes and picture the thing you're holding onto as a leaf on a tree. Imagine it gently falling, carried by the wind, drifting away until it's out of sight. Feel the lightness as you let it go. Focus on what you can control. Redirect your energy toward the things you can influence, your mindset, your actions, and your choices. Letting go of what you can't control allows you to focus on what truly matters. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a woman who carried a grudge against a friend who had betrayed her trust. For years, she replayed the hurt in her mind, holding on to the pain as if it would somehow protect her from being hurt again. One day, during a meditation retreat, she was asked to imagine her grudge as a heavy stone she'd been carrying in her backpack. The teacher told her to visualize setting the stone down. At first, she resisted. Letting go felt like letting her friend off the hook. But as she visualized the stone, she realized the only person it was hurting was herself. When she finally let go, she felt a lightness she hadn't experienced in years. That moment changed her life. She realized that letting go wasn't about the other person, it was about freeing herself. Practical exercise, writing to release. Here's a simple but powerful exercise to help you let go. Write a letter to whatever you're holding on to, a regret, a fear, or even a person. Pour your heart into it. Say everything you need to say, even if it's messy or emotional. When you're done, read it aloud. Then let it go. You can tear it up, burn it, or simply fold it and put it away. This symbolic act can help you release the emotional weight and create space for healing. Why letting go brings freedom. When you let go, you free yourself from the weight of the past. You create space for peace, joy, and new possibilities. Imagine pruning a tree. It's not about taking away its beauty, it's about helping it grow taller and stronger. The same is true for you. When you release what no longer serves you, you make room for growth, transformation, and abundance. Conclusion of this section. Letting go is one of the hardest lessons in life, but it's also one of the most liberating. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to that's weighing you down? What would your life feel like if you set it free? Remember, letting go isn't about loss, it's about making room. Room for growth, room for joy, and room for the life you truly deserve. Part 8. Mindfulness as the pathway to loving life. Imagine sitting quietly in a park. The sun is warm on your skin. The breeze carries the scent of blooming flowers, and the distant laughter of children plays like music in the background. For a moment, you're completely present, no thoughts of the past, no worries about the future. In that moment, life feels full. It feels rich. It feels enough. This is the power of mindfulness, the simple yet profound act of being fully present, here and now. Why mindfulness is essential. In our fast-paced world, our minds are rarely in the present. We replay past mistakes, worry about future problems, or distract ourselves with endless noise. But in doing so, we miss the only moment that truly exists, the one happening right now. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that mindfulness isn't just a practice, it's a way of living. It's about bringing your full awareness to each moment, no matter how ordinary it may seem. Because when you're present, you unlock the joy hidden in life's smallest details, the sound of rain tapping on your window, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, or the feeling of your breath as it moves through your body. Mindfulness transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. How mindfulness can change your life. Mindfulness isn't about escaping reality, it's about fully embracing it. When you're mindful, you notice things you once overlooked. You become more attuned to your emotions, your surroundings, and your connections with others. It's not about doing more, it's about experiencing more. And in doing so, you discover that life is already abundant, already beautiful, and already enough. Practical ways to cultivate mindfulness. Start your day with intention. Before you rush into your day, take a few moments to set an intention. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, how do I want to show up today? Whether it's with kindness, focus, or gratitude, this intention will guide you throughout the day. Practice mindful breathing. Your breath is always with you, making it a powerful anchor to the present moment. Whenever you feel stressed or distracted, pause and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and notice the rhythm of your breathing. It's a simple way to ground yourself in the now. Mindful observation. Choose one thing in your environment, a flower, a cup of tea, or even the sky. Spend a few moments observing it as if you're seeing it for the first time. Notice its colors, textures, and shapes. This practice helps you reconnect with the beauty of the present. Mindful listening. The next time someone speaks to you, listen with your full attention. Don't think about what you'll say next or let your mind wander. Simply be present with their words, their tone, and their emotions. This not only deepens your connection but also enriches the moment. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a man who visited a Zen master, hoping to learn the secrets of mindfulness. The Zen master handed him a cup of tea and said, "Drink this tea mindfully." At first, the man thought it was a strange request. But as he lifted the cup, he noticed its warmth in his hands. He inhaled its aroma, savoring the moment before he took a sip. For the first time, he realized how much he had been rushing through life, missing the richness of these small, everyday moments. When he finished the tea, the Zen master smiled and said, "Now you understand." Mindfulness in everyday life. Mindfulness doesn't require hours of meditation or special techniques. It's about showing up fully for your life, moment by moment. When you're walking, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you're eating, savor each bite as though it's your last. When you're spending time with a loved one, be fully there, heart, mind, and soul. These small shifts create a ripple effect, transforming not just your experience of the moment, but your entire life. The gift of mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us see the magic in the ordinary. It reminds us that life isn't something to chase or fix, it's something to experience. Think of life as a painting. If you're too busy rushing, you'll miss the intricate brushstrokes, the vibrant colors, and the details that make it beautiful. But when you pause, breathe, and pay attention, the painting comes alive. This is what mindfulness offers, a way to truly live rather than simply exist. Practical exercise, the 5 senses practice. Here's a simple exercise to bring mindfulness into your day. Pause and take a deep breath. Notice 5 things you can see around you. Notice 4 things you can touch and how they feel. Notice 3 things you can hear, from the loudest to the quietest sounds. Notice 2 things you can smell, even subtle ones. Notice 1 thing you can taste, even if it's just the freshness of the air. This practice takes just a few minutes but helps ground you in the present moment, bringing a sense of calm and clarity. Conclusion of this section. Mindfulness isn't about changing your life, it's about changing how you experience it. When you bring awareness to each moment, you discover the beauty that's been there all along. So today, take a deep breath. Look around. Notice the small things, the way sunlight filters through the trees, the sound of laughter, or the warmth of a cup of tea. Because the secret to loving your life again isn't in chasing something new, it's in fully embracing what's already here. One mindful moment at a time. Part 9. The illusion of control. Imagine standing in the middle of a flowing river, desperately trying to push the water in the direction you think it should go. The harder you push, the more exhausted you become. Yet the river continues on its path, indifferent to your struggle. This is what life feels like when we cling to the illusion of control. We try to micromanage every aspect of our lives, our plans, relationships, and outcomes, believing that if we just try hard enough, we can force things to go our way. But control is an illusion, and the harder we cling to it, the more it slips through our fingers. The freedom of letting go of control. In Buddhist philosophy, the idea of surrender isn't about giving up, it's about flowing with life rather than fighting against it. Life is unpredictable. No matter how carefully we plan, there will always be twists and turns we can't foresee. The beauty of letting go of control is that it allows us to stop wasting energy on resistance and instead embrace the natural flow of life. Shifting focus to what you can control. Here's a truth to hold on to. While you can't control life's outcomes, you can control your mindset, your actions, and how you respond to what happens. Think of a time when something didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a missed opportunity or an unexpected change in your personal life. How much energy did you spend trying to control the uncontrollable? Did it bring you closer to peace? Or did it deepen your frustration? Now imagine focusing on what you could control in that moment, your attitude, your ability to adapt, or even the lessons you could learn. How different might that experience have been? How to let go of the illusion of control. Accept uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and that's okay. Practice accepting that not everything will go according to plan. And remind yourself that uncertainty often leads to growth and unexpected opportunities. Focus on your circle of control. Draw 2 circles, one for the things you can control and one for the things you can't. Redirect your energy to what's inside the first circle, your actions, mindset, and choices, and let go of the rest. Practice gratitude for the present. Control often stems from fear of failure, loss, or the unknown. Gratitude shifts your focus from what might go wrong to what is already right, grounding you in the present moment. A story to reflect on. There's a story about a gardener who spent months planning a perfect garden. She laid out every detail, the placement of flowers, the type of soil, and the watering schedule. But one day, a storm swept through, washing away her careful arrangements. At first, she was devastated. But as the weeks went by, she noticed something remarkable: wildflowers blooming where she hadn't planted them, creating a beauty she never could have planned. In that moment, she realized that letting go of control didn't mean losing her garden, it meant allowing nature's unexpected gifts to flourish. Practical exercise: surrender to the flow. Try this simple exercise to let go of control. Think about something in your life that's causing you stress or frustration because it's not going as planned. Write it down. Then ask yourself, what aspects of this situation can I control? What can I not control? Visualize releasing the parts you can't control. Imagine placing them on a leaf and letting the river carry them away. This practice helps you surrender what's outside your influence and focus on what you can shape. Why letting go brings peace. When you stop resisting life's currents, you allow yourself to flow with them. Challenges become lessons. Detours become opportunities. And you begin to see beauty in the unexpected. Letting go of control doesn't mean you're powerless, it means you're free. Free to adapt, grow, and find peace in life's natural rhythm. Conclusion of this section. The river of life will never flow exactly how you want it to. But that's what makes it beautiful. Trust the flow. Release the need to control every detail. And you'll discover that peace isn't something you create, it's something you uncover by letting go. Call to action. Invite viewers to subscribe. Voiceover with gentle, uplifting background music. If you've found inspiration in these teachings and are ready to embrace a life of mindfulness, growth, and inner peace, we'd love to have you join us on this journey. Subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom and become part of a community dedicated to exploring timeless lessons and transforming everyday moments into something extraordinary. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who might need a reminder to slow down and embrace the beauty of now. And as always, we'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you're ready to let go of today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And let's inspire each other to live more fully, one mindful moment at a time.